there's a whole kind of like transformative process for others in the like recognition of your joy and how it's contagious and like the remembrance of joy of like, oh, I've been going without this for so long. I
Yeah.
didn't know that it could be in spaces like this. It feels like for you, it's a personal renaissance of joy, and even outside you, it's a remembrance of joy, a renaissance of joy, and like a real liberation. It's a real liberation of joy. Hello, welcome to Akashic Records and Friends. I'm so excited to be here with you. My name is Mina, and I have a beautiful episode for you. So, I had the privilege of getting to read for a dear friend of mine. They were so gracious as to try this with me and to just see what happened. And they've never had an Akashic record reading before. They didn't even really know much about it. They just kind of were willing to be a guest and to receive a reading. And really it was just like uh I asked them to do this as a favor, and they were so kind as to say yes. And we find out later in the conversation that they really did, they were excited to receive the reading too, and not just doing it as a favor. Of course, they did have a really, yeah, beautiful question. So, a little bit about this episode. So, my sweet friend, this reading, Akashic readings can be so personal, and because this is going to be shared publicly here on this podcast, they didn't want to be, uh, they didn't want to feel too exposed, and so to make it more comfortable for them, they've chosen to be anonymous. So I won't be sharing their name, and also, if you're watching the video version of this, you won't be able to see their image. So in the video version, if you want to like watch this, you can find it on Substack or YouTube, and you'll be able to see me. And in the parts where my friend is speaking, you won't be able to see them. So they'll be anonymous, but that's there for you if you prefer to watch. And in both, of course, you'll be able to hear their voice. So yeah, a little bit about them. They are in their early 60s and they are approaching retirement. So they've had a long, beautiful career doing, yeah, beautiful work, supporting people like very, yeah, very caring, compassionate type of work. And yeah, they're on the brink of retirement. And that's something that they've been kind of figuring out the timing of, but that's a big, uh, event that they're approaching. So that's kind of where they're at in their stage of life right now. And in that kind of space of having had like a long, gorgeous career and it's winding down, retirement, this new chapter is approaching, they had this beautiful question around playfulness. And the central inquiry of this reading was how can I reconnect with my playfulness, which I thought was such a beautiful question. And I imagine that so many of us can relate to that. I know I definitely can. There's never like, I never feel like I have too much playfulness. I can always, I'm always open to more. And yeah, I imagine that there's other folks that can relate to that too. So it seemed like a really great topic for the reading, and I'm so glad that we got to do it. And yeah, what came through the records was really beautiful. Even though this is a one-on-one reading, and I want to be clear about that, that this reading is for this person that I'm reading for my friend. And so take it all with a grain of salt because I have opened their records and I'm speaking specifically to them. And yet I imagine there will be some nuggets from the reading that might resonate with you. And just as ever, take it with a grain of salt and enjoy. It was really beautiful. So I'll be sharing the reading with you, and then at the end, my friend and I connected, I think like 4 or 5 days after the read. Yeah, I think like 4 or 5 days after the reading, they had some time to let it land and think about it and just kind of like let it integrate. And then we talked about their experience, which was really cool. So that one, so there's kind of two sections to this. So we'll first kind of drop into the reading, and then you'll get to hear that conversation that we had a few days later. So, okay, that's all I've got for you. And yeah, if you want to watch the video version of this, you can find it on Substack at akashicgoodness.substack.com, or you can find it on YouTube, just searching Mina Ruchi Magic. And yeah, I think that's all I've got for you. Okay, so enjoy the reading, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, so I'm just going to take a moment to feel into the space of your records now that they're open and see if there's anything immediately present upon opening. The vibe is like if like all of these like keepers of your records, sweet, like supportive beings are like really leaning in with wide eyes, like so much curiosity and like delight to get to chat in this way. This is like new and exciting, and there's like an effervescent kind of quality to it. Effervescent curiosity.
Oh,
Is there anything that you'd like to ask?
because it is so new, um, at this point, I think I'll just let you guide and then I'll interact as we continue, if that's okay.
Okay. And yeah, I might indeed need you to ask a question, but I'll see what's here if there's any.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like it's rich with potential and it's spacious, but it's like they're waiting.
Okay. Yeah. So the question that I came with was around how to rediscover my playfulness.
Hmm.
And um, and so embedded in that question is this real desire to access a part of me that I know exists and has been layered up.
Hmm.
And who I remember myself to be, oh
Hmm.
my God, I adore her. And who I became, um, I also respect, but I'd like more balance in my life of work and play. And so the question is how to rediscover and access my playfulness.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful question. And thank you, yeah, for that. A little bit of context around it. It's lovely. Let me take a moment and sit with that. So yeah, it seems like there's a couple of pieces around this. So I'm just going to speak to them as they're kind of coming through, and it might feel non-linear, and then we can debrief after.
Okay.
So it seems like one thing that can like support like this renaissance of playfulness is um, when you complete with your work, like with your current job, which I know you're on the cusp of retirement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like crossing that threshold and even approaching it actually is kind of like leading to this like bubbling up, this like re-emergence of playfulness as you get closer to that threshold, which is really lovely. And it seems like there might be like if we could look at it, it's like it'll increase and it'll like kind of spike is what there's potential for that. Like when you retire and actually cross that threshold. And it'll be like a burst of like joy. It feels like there's glee and giddiness on the other side of that, and like a real felt sense of freedom. And that's not to say, there's anything bad about your job by any means, but it's like, oh, it'll feel like liberating in its own way. And then it seems like where it might like land will be perhaps higher than it is right now, which is nice. So it seems like the natural kind of like closing of this particular chapter of work will kind of make more space organically for playfulness, which is really nice. So in this one sense, it's like it's already unfolding on your behalf, which is really nice. And I'm curious how that lands for you. And there's also more around this.
Um, I heard a phrase yesterday, um, and it was when I was a child, my work was to play. And I remember how lit my heart became, right? And so as I hear you speak of me being on the cusp of retirement, and this work, this phrase that got peppered into me yesterday is like, oh, now my work will be to play. And
Yes.
so it does feel like this burst. And so it resonates deeply with me.
Mm.
And And I can imagine that the young energy that's like behind the gates,
Yeah.
ready to run and to engage more, it will spike high, and then because young energy and current age me are different, it will have to it will have to come into a different leveling. But I love that it will be more than what it is.
Yeah, it seems like it'll arrive at a homeostasis, but it's like it, and they're not saying like, and it doesn't seem like it's landing that way for you, but it's like, oh, it's not like, oh, you'll have this big burst and then it's going to go away. It's like, it's going to stay, but
Yeah,
it's not going to stay at the level of like elation forever because that would be
yeah,
exhausting.
yeah.
So, but it does feel like there's something very alive about this part. It feels like it's something that's dormant, that's like, already like getting it's like gathering its stuff to move where it's like it's been under the surface and it's like I'm moving I'm moving back to the surface. This is amazing. So it's and you might be feeling it now where it's like you feel like this part perhaps is like it's wanting to come alive. It's like wanting to take up more space. You're thinking of it more. And it
Mhm.
seems like your awareness is like a mirror and like a sensing of like, oh, it's already gathering its stuff. It's packing its little boxes because it's moving from deep under
Uh,
the surface to like the surface. It's gonna like move to the main residence almost.
oh, I love your images, Mina, like packing their little boxes, and I can feel this anticipation of, oh, honey bunnies, come, right? Like it's just really it's really beautiful. And I feel this mutual regard for the fullness of me, like
Mm.
we can't come before our time because you need this time to finish well.
Yeah.
And but we will not be late, right? Like we will
Yeah.
not be late. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, exactly. Exactly. It seems like there's a little more around this too. So, yeah, it seems like there's all this giddiness. It's almost like if you like got a call from like childhood best friend and they were like, I'm moving like to your city. We're gonna be like in the same neighborhood again. It's like that kind of like wild childlike glee that would be there. It's like how in that moment you might like totally become like 8-year-old self, where it's like, oh yay, my best friend is moving back. So it's like that kind of thing. And it's like, and they're not here just yet, but you know they're coming. And so it's like, yeah, it's that kind of anticipation, excitement. And it seems too like in the knowing that they're coming, right? They're moving back in. It's like maybe um it's like if we were thinking of this as a friend, it's like maybe it's like you've always been in touch, but it's like it's a card on a birthday and it's like a call every 6 months or so. And now it's like now because they're moving back, you're in contact more before they even arrive. So it's like it seems like there's this potential to like touch
Mm.
into and check in with it before they totally move back in and you're in deep contact with it. It's like, yeah, you're just in touch. Like there's greater contact there than there was before, even though
Yeah.
really nothing has changed yet. And yet just in the potential and the knowing that it's coming, things are actually starting to change, like the relational
Uh-oh.
dynamic. Did it freeze? Okay. Are
That's,
we back?
yeah.
So, yeah, it seems like the like relational dynamic is already kind of like lighting up again in a different way. It's like yeah, it's just more energized and alive than it was in the past. So, it seems like it's already kind of like moving out of that like more dormant, quiet space and like more into your awareness.
Mm, true.
Great. Okay, let me see if there's anything else around this. Okay, yeah, so it almost feels like this playfulness that we're talking about feels like its own spirit or entity or a part like it was personified. So
Mm,
there's there's room here if you want to. I'm like, are there any questions that you have for that playful being, that playful part?
mm. Yeah. Um, the most genuine question or comment to that most playful part in me was I'm sorry she had to go underground too
Mm.
early.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. It seems like there's like a tenderness there. And this part is so resilient. It's so resilient. It's like, it's okay.
Mm,
And yeah, it's it feels it's like this part doesn't have regrets. It's like it's totally okay. Yeah. And it seems almost like this part. I'm curious, I don't know if you have a sense of like what their name might be, but it's yeah, this playful part seems like there's a mutual kind of tenderness, sadness for you because it's it's almost like a little bit giggly. It's like I feel bad because you had to be without me. I was okay, but it seems
mm,
like yeah, what a bummer that you had to be without me, the life of the party.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as names, because I do feel like that that playfulness has a lot of joy,
Hmm.
um, bubbliness, innocence, um, goodwill. So those would be some of the names that um,
Yeah.
as I think about that part, like eagerness, innocence, um, bubbliness,
Yeah.
they were all part and um, delightfulness and joy and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I very much resonate with the part could be really sad um, that I was without her, you
Yeah.
know, that
Yeah.
part feels really alive to me. And I'm so touched of the resilience and the readiness, like,
Hmm.
oh, we've always been here. And
Yeah.
yeah, that part feels extraordinary, actually.
Yeah, it is. It's like it's remarkably resilient. And so it seems like that's like it's like a suppleness. So it's almost like they're so excited that you'll get to like have this like influx, this like yeah, like this, I don't know. It's like having a taking a vitamin or having this like new capacity for suppleness where it's like, oh my
Mm,
gosh, this part is so like bouncy. Like its skin is so supple where it's like some anything can knock into it and its skin is like just very supple. It bounces right back. And so it's like they're so excited for you to like reunite with the powerful resilience of joy.
mm. Hang on, I'm just going to take that in. I feel like I don't even want to sip it. I want to gulp it, right? Like,
Hmm.
ah, yeah, that's fantastic.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. My eyes are like full of tears just because it's so exciting. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And there's like the feeling is like, oh, this friend is like moving back and there's like all these gifts. It's like bringing all these gifts from where they've been living. And it's like, oh, you have no idea all the gifts that are like on their way to you. So there's so much yeah, just like excited anticipation. But it's not like anticipation that's going to fall flat. It's like how you might be excited to give a gift that you know is so good, where it's like, you know, it's not going to disappoint. It's
Yeah,
like, I can't wait for them to not just like open the gift, but to have the gift and to enjoy it afterwards. So it's like as
yeah,
much as there's anticipation now, it's like the enjoyment on the other side of it is even more, which is really lovely.
yeah, yeah. And what it feels is like really generative to the full integration, like the joy of the gift giver, the joy of receiving, and the integration of, oh, it's all as it should be, right? Like
Yeah.
it feels it feels like in the giving of the gift and the receiving of the gift, like there's an exponential reality
Mhm.
of goodness and integration.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great way of phrasing it. I love that.
Yeah.
It seems like there's more around this, but I'm curious if you have other questions.
At this point, I'm just kind of just digesting it, right? Like just it's almost as though the first gift in this reading is this knowing that it's coming and this tasting like an
Mhm.
appy, right? An
Mhm.
appetizer. And so I'm just digesting what has been revealed so far.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely take a minute and just savor the deliciousness of this appetizer. Ah, yeah, this is exciting. This is exciting. Hmm. I'm, yeah, I'm curious if you feel like you have more capacity to receive more from the records.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, let me see what's here on this. It seems like there's a couple directions we could go. So let me feel into it. Okay, so it feels like bubbly joy. Uh, it's like, would you like to, yeah, they're inviting you, like, would you like to kind of like touch into or glimpse like what the potential is around the like return renaissance of this gift of our reunion?
Sure.
Okay, so it seems like there's so much rich potential for you, of course, right? It seems like this like return of playfulness and joy. And again, it there's like a little bit of sass. She's like a sassy one. And so it's like I've of course like still been there. Like it's like I like it's not like you don't remember me at all. Like I've been there. You couldn't get rid of me if you tried. And like it's gonna be like a totally different level very soon. Like when yeah, and it's like this this excitement and there's like a real feeling of celebration around like completing this chapter of work and like embracing retirement. And so, right, like this part is looking forward to that. And it's like there's so much like rich, like almost medicinal potential around like the impact of how this can radiate out into
Mhm.
like those that are connected to you. And so it seems like yeah, this will be supportive for you. And yeah, just this like reunion that you've been longing for some time, unconsciously and consciously recently.
Mhm.
And it seems like there's like, yeah, beautiful potential for those that are connected to you because it's like you will express differently like when this part is like in the main residence and not like underground or in that like dormant kind of space. And so, Yeah, is it okay if we kind of like explore the impact of that?
Sure.
Okay. It seems like in this like and this is just one way it might unfold where it's like this kind of like building anticipation and then like ooh yay the like liberation celebration freedom of like a huge chapter has just closed. We're in something totally new. It's really exciting right at the start like as you cross the threshold into retirement. And then it'll kind of like uh yeah, kind of like land in a very homeostasis like lovely way where it like will integrate because it's like that's a big process. It's a big homecoming. And so it seems like from the outside, folks perceiving you might be like, oh, this is intense. Like, what is she doing? Like, wow, she's really living it up. Wow, oh my goodness. And it's like the spike in playfulness might almost be like a jolt of joy into your like web, into your network
Yeah.
that lots of people might not be ready for, right? Where it's like they aren't acclimated to that kind of level of that high of a burst of joy. And so it seems like it this has potential to kind of like send like waves, like radiant waves into your network in a way that could be a little bit uncomfortable or even confusing to some and also really delightful too. And as it settles, it's like this whole, all that you're connected to is now gonna get like, hmm, I don't know what the word is, but it's like this radiant kind of like subtle, imprint and not really dose, but like, it's like you will be emanating joy in a different way, or it's like it will be more present in your being. And so, it will naturally impact and like bump into and like be felt by those that are connected to you. And so, and it could land in a few different ways where it's like it could be surprising, it could be like what is going on, it could be like confusion, it could be almost like the sense of like maybe it might feel even like judgment, but almost like people will be like, what's happening? Like what is this? And so it feels like it's actually really like a way to be like an embodiment of like a new example. It's like you will be a living example of a new way to be that other people haven't seen. So there's like a real sense of leadership just in your being that other
Mm.
people will be benefiting from. And it might feel a little bit activating and it also might be, completely delightful.
As I take that in, the first thing that I'm aware of is, yeah, the different vibrational um, like rippling that happens when there's more space for joy, right? And how it can't help but to go outward. It just
Mhm.
that's what joy does, right? Like and and that for me as I listen, it's like, there's two shifts. One is letting go of primary work and and still being connected with people who are primarily working. And
Yes.
and so I feel like even though there could be like, oh my gosh, um, the what is happening or who is this also could be in the role that they're still in, right? Um, and and the other thing that I realize, and it ties back to like the sassy little voice, which I really, really adore. And what you don't know is there years ago there was a drink called Tab, and it was Tab has sass. And the only reason I drank Tab was because it had sass. And there was a part of me that just loved this sass, right? Like,
Amazing. Goodness.
Yeah, yeah. But it was really funny, like the marketing, what they found within me, they could sell to me, right? Um, so I loved when you had talked about the sassy part. And um, I think the other thing is I've already begun to realize, um, like recently, I've really started creating communities and communities of belonging for lots of different reasons. One is we just need to belong,
Hmm.
um, and 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 also with some larger goals and intentionality, like included in it of helping ourselves, helping one another, but helping um, also our local communities and perhaps our national community in different ways. And the the initial thing that I kicked off on that was we have to have places of playfulness that energize us to do this new calling and work. And so when you're talking about the ripple effect and perhaps some people's like the word that comes up is yowzer, like who is this and how is she changed? There's I know that from people who have retired before me, like, oh my God. So I think I'm okay with that. And the fact that I've begun to already do inroads of saying we need playfulness, um, we need rest, we need work, and and so I feel like there will be a spike, and just on the way that I'm made, there's an awareness of don't overdose people too quickly, right? Like
Yeah.
titrate this, and being mindful of the context. It's not playfulness coming up and unpacking their boxes and me saying, okay, hide behind the glass door. But
Right.
it's also like, let's go play and let's be really respectful of the people we're playing with, what their capacities are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It seems like there's like this playful part is coming in, and it doesn't mean that like the wisdom, the respect, the empathy that you've like cultivated over time, that's not leaving. So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
right, it's like it's meeting you in this version of you. It's
yeah.
not like yanking you back to like a childhood self that has less awareness, perhaps, of how other people might be impacted by how you're being. So it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, it's like meeting you in your self-awareness in this version of you in this time with all of your like rich experience of life. So it's like, and they're saying you phrased the question so beautifully. It was like how can I rediscover
Hmm.
playfulness? And it's like, yeah, it's a new version of it. So like,
Yeah,
yeah, there's going to be this joyful reunion because it's like I remember this and it'll feel invigorating. And it's like it's going to be different. It won't be exactly the same because it's
yeah,
finding a home, right? It's moving into the main residence, and it's like, oh, the main residence is very different than it used to be. There's other, parts of yourself that like occupy more space there now that maybe weren't even there in the past, right? So it's
yeah.
like, yeah, so it's like it's gonna, and how they're explaining it of like, yeah, this part is moving into a residence with other beings. It's gonna do that externally too. It's like it's gonna find its place
Mm,
in your community too. So in your inner community of parts and in your
yep,
outer community of beings and people and friends. And and it seems like what they're offering is like you have the capacity to like hold this like huge like spike of it. And that's gonna be felt in some capacity because it's like it just you won't be able to like hide it, and there's no need to hide it.
right.
And like there's like something very organic. There's an intelligence to this like reunion. And
Yeah,
there's an intelligence to this yeah, reunion and return where it's like this is a very organic like process where it's like it's gonna find its own way. It's very intelligent. It's not like a jolt to you. It's not meant to be like a shock wave
Yeah,
to anything, but it's like it's gonna be felt and it's trustable.
that um, as I receive it, it just moves all the way through me, like in alignment of how do I want to? I feel like it's entering into a community that welcomes it internally, right? That welcomes it and needs it and desires it and has missed it. And um, and I feel like there is a wisdom in that community. There's a real care for the multiplicity that lives in each one of us. And I love that you said, what's in the inner is also it's happening in the external.
Hmm.
And as I think about my friendships and the dear, dear people I love, um, I think about it's weird because you use this leadership thing. I do feel like joy has been undervalued as a leadership quality,
Yeah.
right? And and for me, perhaps more than ever, I want that to be part of my leadership.
Hmm.
And um, otherwise, there's drudgery and more doing, and we need something that just fuels us as well, that can fuel us for more than the moment. Like when there's joy and playfulness, I have discovered I'm good for, I mean, it has a capacity that outlasts the time and the memory of it just makes me happy again, right? Like it's an
Mm.
automatic filling station.
Very generative. Yeah.
Yeah. And so to me, I'm excited because I'm excited for the fullness of myself. I feel like there's more color within me as I think about this. I
Mm.
feel like there's more light within me as I think about this. I feel like more excitement is in me. And it's not just to go off and have frivolous play, it's actually to enhance all of the other things that are unfolding in my life that I'm called into and going to be a part of for purposes much bigger than, if someone thinks of a narcissistic, hedonistic playfulness, it isn't that.
Yeah.
It's like it's this accompaniment of joy and sustaining and delighting and pausing. I mean, it's all so beautiful. So as you spoke about it, it's just amping up already.
Mm.
Like I feel like the elevator shaft from the place where it's been buried, the elevator shaft is like in place and they're just playing as we did with kids. We'd get on the elevator and push the buttons and the door would open and it's like, hi. And it's not time yet, but we're here. So it feels really beautiful and it feels so supportive to the new work that's ahead of me.
Hmm. It
And
does.
and I adore that. And that the work ahead of me requires this other part of me to be present for it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the piece that feels like really um like perfect about this is that it's like it's gonna serve you and it's like the fruition of a desire that you want, right? It's like I want to feel more playfulness and it's needed outside of you. So it's
Yeah.
like this like perfect like ground where like need and desire meet where it's like oh and there's something really radiant about this.
Hmm.
It's like yeah, your natural way of being. It's like this is there's and it's like it's been sitting here this whole time and I'm having a hard time putting it into words, but it's like this quality as like you acclimate to it and as like your whole web acclimates to it and you bring it very consciously into the spaces where you're moving into and wherever, yeah, these like community spaces that you've been naming and other places too. And as that grows, it's like this is uh like these spaces are deficient in this. So it's like missing vitamin, like really like a nourishing thing that they might not know that they were missing because it's been gone for so long that it
Yep.
might be like, what is this? And then when it does land, when they do kind of take it in, it's going to land really deeply and almost like, yeah, there's a lot of like depth there. And even like realization, the like potent realization of like what has been missed this whole time, which
Mm,
is really that's really tender. And so it
yeah.
seems like there's a whole kind of like transformative kind of process for others in the like recognition of your joy and how it's contagious and like the remembrance of joy of like, oh, I've been going without this for so long. I
Yeah.
didn't know that it could be in spaces like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like it feels like for you, it's a personal renaissance of joy. And even outside you, it's like, yeah, a remembrance of joy, a renaissance of joy. And there's something else too, like a real liberation. It's a real liberation of joy.
Yeah. I'm letting that just settle.
Yeah.
It all rings true. I heard as joy enters into this stage, like the third act of my life,
Mhm.
that it's it's a service as well, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a service to me, um, and it's a service beyond me, and and there will be just frivolous, stomach splitting laughter, and there will be clumsiness that doesn't need to be shameful, right? Like there's just this liberating freedom and a huge permission slip to me to try new things and not to be so concerned on the outcome to um, actually enjoy the unfolding of the process, right? And to learn to learn to appreciate just the moments, and in that there's a great service of somehow, like, playfulness is kind of youthful, and so instead of slathering my skin with creams and stuff, I actually have this playful energy that's going to keep me young, just coming up and through me. But I'm really excited, Mina. Like, what you've created is helping me realize how beautiful this desire is in this time, that is not just a selfish desire. It's creating more of myself, and allowing a different reflection into the world,
Yeah.
and one that people will have the opportunity, like you said, to maybe have to reconfigure around, but also to see that it's available to them, right?
Yes.
Like, not my version, but there's something really life-giving that's available to them, that lives in them already. And
Yeah.
that's really exciting.
Yeah, it does. And I feel like you articulated it so beautifully. It's like modeling something that's available to them, where it's like, this is like a living example, a model of a new way of being that has been forgotten. So just as
Yeah,
it was buried in you, it's like it's been buried much, much longer in the collective.
yeah,
So it's like the remergence of that and yeah, this like renaissance of this where it's like, oh, we can reimagine this completely in our own way, in whatever way works for us. But it seems like it's a very, very potent like modeling and like leadership and service example, living example, embodied example of something that is deeply missed, but it's like we don't even know we're missing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that
Beautiful.
feels really good. And I feel excitedly complete.
Great. Great. Yeah, this seems like a nice closing point. Would you like me to ask if there's any last little tidbits
Oh,
before we close?
sure.
Okay. So they're saying like one of the like sweetnesses of this like conversation is that now you know it's coming. So it's like now you can call your friend, now you can touch in and you can like start to like move some of the boxes up the elevator and like slowly have this part move back in, which is really sweet. And so it's like you can like titrate it for yourself. You can like slowly acclimate to it for yourself, where it doesn't have to be like the U-Haul shows up and everything is there all at once. It's like you can slowly start to bring this in, which is
Yeah,
really sweet. And they're also saying it seems like there's not really like a super high, risk of this, but just like a sweet reminder, like resist the pull, the temptation to turn play into work and turn it
mhm.
into leadership service, whatever, and to
Yeah,
have a hardness around it. So it's like they're bringing this to your awareness so you can savor it more and to like value it even more and to prioritize it even more, but not to take it so far that it loses its like luster of playfulness and becomes something else.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%, 100%.
Right. Okay. Right. I'm gonna go ahead and close the records now, if that's okay.
Hmm.
Okay. That concludes the reading. And now we'll shift into the chat that we had a few days after the reading, which was really rich and really insightful. So here we go. So we did this like sweet reading about playfulness. It was a delight to receive in the offering of it. And I'm curious, yeah, how it was for you. What was it like? What was the reading like for you?
It was so surprising, actually. Um, the reason I had asked the question was because it was such a hunger of mine, and I felt like I had to pursue it, and I had to discover it, right? Like, and in the reading, there was this reality that that part has never left me. Um, that that it's been with me the entire time, and what really was like a big, huge expansion was that it was fine. Like I was concerned in my childhood story that I was so playful and then it kind of came to an abrupt end. And I was so concerned about like killing my playfulness, right? And then I had to somehow, I didn't even think CPR was available to resurrect it. I thought that I needed to go figure out how to be playful again. And in the reading, it was like, oh, it was always there. It was always okay. And and it was bubbly as soon as you went into the records. I mean, like when you went into the records, and this is all new for me, right? You went into the records and you're like, there's so much energy. And I'm like, oh, like relief and excitement and belief. Um, as I listened with my ears, but listened more deeply with my body, right? Because my storyline wasn't very helpful to me over decades, but as I listened to your words, my body was like, "It's true, it's true," and and so the surprise, and then the twist was I had been carrying this guilt around not being more playful and this desire of wanting to be. And my playfulness through the Akashic Records said, "Oh, we're sorry for you." And I was like, "Oh my God, not only is playfulness like so enjoyable, it's so kind. It's so kind. And that announcement of we're sorry for you, I just felt so seen, um, in a way that my experience that cut off playfulness never saw me, right? I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, it
Yeah.
was amazing.
Oh my gosh, that I'm like my heart feels so full hearing that. That's how that landed for you. I think the thing that like I got tingly when you said my body was like, oh, this is true.
Yeah,
I was like, wow, that's amazing. It sounded like it landed in a different space than just like, okay, like I can think about that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And oh, that playfulness is kind too. Yeah. That was such a sweet moment too. And that like, I don't know if it was surprising, but it was like, there's something about that that felt potent and just, yeah, just like dripping with like compassion. And so that's really lovely that, yeah, you felt seen in that. And that was interesting too. It's like, yeah, I'm curious what that was like for you to like almost like be able to relate from the other side, where it's like I don't know if this is true, but it sounds like you had this one way of like thinking about this part. But what was
Mhm.
it like to like hear from that part in a way that wasn't like that was through the records and perhaps not through your own imaginal space?
Yeah. So it was as though I was looking at the world upside down and in black and white, and somehow I got turned right side up and color. And um, and so it was hearing in different language, right? So playfulness has always been with you, but there's language in different spiritual traditions, and one is that you're endowed with an incorruptible seed, and this incorruptible seed, no matter what happens to you, the things that were deposited into your life are always there, and they might go dormant, but but they will never depart from you. It is you, right? And to be like experientially reminded of that or revealed in that there was this, when I think back to my childhood, playfulness was one of the biggest markers for me, right? Kind playfulness was one of the biggest markers for me.
Wow.
And then to have that speak to me, like we're still here, and 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 that being the wisdom, right? Because sometimes we think being older and having our minds is the wisdom, but there is a wisdom that is so much more ancient and organic and true, and she just popped right up, and it was a reunion. It was a reunion with myself, and it felt beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah,
so that was so poetic too, and like an incorruptible seed. Is that the phrase you used?
yeah,
Wow. Yeah. And that like as kind of like the sometimes I feel like I'm the third party where it's like I'm like, the translator. So it's like as like kind of the third party witness. It was really like it was really touching and striking. The resilience of that part was really like remarkable. It was inspiring how okay that part was because I could feel where you were coming from of like how you were describing, just a moment ago, like how you felt towards the beginning and the relationship and how it like felt cut off. And it was like, oh, like the guilt. I'm so sorry, that I'm not connected with you. And that part, like truly as like from my seat as the third party, it was like, it's fine. Like it could have shrugged. It was like, yeah, no worries. And it meant it. It felt very sincere.
that's how it came through. That's what I appreciated. Like like, as you know, Akashic readings are new to me. And you can even emphasize like the reading, right? Like it's going to be this this literary thing, but it's actually so much more deep. It's a revelation, right? It's you use the word renaissance. It's a renaissance, and it did feel that way. And as you read, the way that that energy wanted to be spoken, I feel like I feel like you embodied the energy through voice
Mm.
and your own levels of playfulness that allowed the reality the reality that was always there but I didn't know to the separation got removed and integration took place.
Wow. Mm. I'm so glad that, yeah, I could offer that as like the translator, that like the tone of my voice could support that part of the communication. Because yeah, and that's something I wonder sometimes too. It's like I hope this is coming across the way, I'm experiencing it. Because it is sometimes hard to put it into language. It's like such a that's like a complete being almost that we were talking to. So it's like weird to try to translate that. But I'm glad that, I was able to capture a little bit of its vibe.
Yeah, yeah, quite
Cool.
a bit of it actually.
Glad. Thank you. So good. I'm curious too. So yeah, I know that Akashic readings are new to you. I'm super curious, like what made you open to this other than just your kindness in doing this with me? But I'm curious, yeah, like what did you think it was gonna be like, if anything, and what was it really like for you?
Mm. I really didn't know much about Akashic readings. So I knew that my understanding was there's a place in which they're stored and that they're always available. Um, but I think for me, there's the trust that you and I have developed, right? Um, we have had many a deep conversation, and I've realized um, who you are as a person is a person that I very much um, appreciate and welcome into not just like easy conversations, but also real conversations that go deeper. And so you've proven to be trustworthy, and you have always had kindness and compassion. And so there was a part of me that I wanted to understand your work better, but there was as much, if not more, of I wanted to understand myself more, and I trusted you in that process. And and so you made it you made it so enjoyable, right? And I'd been watching also, I subscribed to your Substack. I've been watching your videos. I should have used that too, because I was watching what was happening in these Akashic readings, and every Friday when they come out, my heart just leans in, like as I'm typing on my email.
Oh my
And
goodness.
and so I've seen you do this, and I knew, oh, this is safe. And this is a place that really, how do I want to, a complexity can arise with simplicity, which is something that kind of is abnormal. A lot of times simplicity arises with complexity, but you can take complexity and allow it to be simplified, because there's these different things like, oh, it's saying this, but let's not forget it doesn't mean that, right? And even in our reading, you brought in yes, 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 and you know, be careful, because it doesn't mean that now play is going to be work, right?
Mhm.
And so I think knowing you, subscribing to your Substack, watching your videos, reading the things that you wrote, which are just timely for me. Um, and they're soothing for me and they are life-giving. And I'll tell you, I want all of those things. I want all of them. And so I experienced them on a very easy way to determine, yes, let's do this. And then I discovered the value in a personal reading.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I would love to like hide after that. Thank you. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And I love that you kind of like got a taste for it in some of the other
Mhm.
places. Did the one-on-one reading feel different than the other videos and like the other writings from the records that I've shared before?
It felt in the same heart space. It felt in the same heart space. But what felt different was how much it touched in like the reading when you went into my records, right?
Mhm.
And the way that you conveyed the information to me. Um, I was always able to get something out of the videos that you provide, but this was so much more personalized. And in that way, it felt really powerful and personal.
Mm. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, for me, I feel like the one-on-one readings are like where it can like the real magic can happen because the records are able to be very specific, which is really cool.
Yeah,
And I feel like there's so much more room for depth in that specificity. Where it's like we can really like, yeah, go into like some rich places together with the magic of the records, which is really nice. Okay, I think I have a couple more things that I want to ask. I'm curious. So, like, our reading was centered around playfulness, and you described a little bit about how you felt about playfulness before. And I'm
mhm.
super curious how are you feeling after the reading
Oh my
around
God.
playfulness and otherwise?
I feel like there was a like this separation that I spoke of. And after the reading, it was an integration, right? And so the very day of the reading, um, I was working and I had a meeting that I didn't need to be in person with. And it was one of these days that it was sunshiny
Mm.
and and I live in a very rainy area. And I decided, oh, I'm going to go to a green space. I'm going to go find lawn. And so I was in my car and I pulled off and there was this big lawn and I thought, there it is. But then there was this playground, this kids' playground, right?
Mm.
And there was a swing set there. And because I didn't have to be live on the meeting, I just needed to be present. I went over the swings and I held my phone and I'm swinging back and forth and I'm on mute and I'm fully attentive to the meeting. Like I'm listening, I'm moving with the meeting, I'm moving in the swing, and this accompaniment um, of of pleasure in the midst of a meeting that raised my ability to attend to what I was listening to be a little bit more creative and literally think outside of the box, right?
Mm.
So that was really fun. And it was like so natural. There wasn't like, I'm going to go implement playfulness, right? I was like, no, I'm just going to be outdoors. So that was one piece. And then the playfulness, you had given this image of, you know, that it's like playfulness is packing her boxes or their
Mm.
boxes, and they're going to start moving up, you know, little boxes into the main residence. And and I love that image. And I thought, oh, I can't wait. And I didn't have to, right? And then I was at a store and I really wanted to buy earrings. And there were so many playful earrings. And so I bought these ridiculously playful earrings. And so it's just this little bit of, um, I felt like the reality of the elevator moving up and depositing things in the main residence already. And then once it's time, there'll be a more fullness. But in my conversations, even in my contour of being, um,
Mm.
there is a different availability to not sacrifice my capacity for engagement on an intellectual or personal level in my work environment or in my friendships. But there is also this ability to enter into it with with a fuller heart, not a depleted, not something that's depleted, but fuller. So I've just been kind of really enjoying even like making my food. I turn on music, I'm dancing, it's just
Oh,
really, really fun. Yeah.
so glad. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I wanted to let you complete your thoughts. So I'm just like sitting on this giddiness. My eyes were like watering with joy because I was just like, this is amazing. That, oh my gosh. Okay. The imagery of you like on a swing, like while on like a Zoom call or a meeting, and like, I would love if your camera had been on and people could see that. And of course, like actually I don't know. I don't want to assume. I'm guessing that that's not what was happening, and you were like attending and not like just like showing yourself on the swing set. But I also had this imagery as you were speaking, like, what if there was like a conference room that was just a bunch of swings around a table. Like, how cool would that be? Or no table.
Wow. What That's incredible, right? Like I bet I bet some really creative ideas would come out of that.
I bet so. Or even just like, yeah, just the imagery of like, if it was, a not in-person meeting, like everyone on a different piece of playground equipment in their different spaces, that would be really amazing.
Or even what would it just be like even if it wasn't a meeting, like what if we just swing together or played together, right? And then yeah, yeah.
Oh, so cool. Yeah, I was like, wow, that felt like a revolution and a revelation just in you doing that. Like, wow, like what if that spread? And there was also this sense like it will spread because I feel like that was a big piece that came through too. It's like there's this natural kind of radiance about this, which is so beautiful. But I'm like, oh yeah, I just wanted to say that because that was like what I was seeing as you were describing that. It was so cool. And I also love the idea of like playfulness, like unpacking their boxes, and like one of the first boxes is their earrings, where it's like that's and you'll have to send me a picture of those because I really want to see what these playful earrings are. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's so beautiful. I'm so glad that it has stayed with you, and it feels like it's already unfolding in like, yeah, surprising, playful, fun ways, which is really, really just delightful. So good. I feel like this will be a fun one for you as a witness to just kind of like see. And that's what it sounded like. It's almost like you're seeing these moments where playfulness can kind of like come out or unpack a box or kind of like be present, which is really cool.
Oh, it's super cool.
So good.
And it really does in a world that runs really fast and in a world with a lot going on right now, the the what playfulness adds, like in the ways that she's revealing herself, is it adds a way um, to be more fully present. And how do I want to word this? I'm not sure if I can get it. I feel like I feel like sometimes if we're just in the speed of the world, in the news of the world, in the chaos of the world, we can get round really, really, really tight, or we can get laid flat on our couch, right? Or we can find ourselves doing a number of things. But this felt like it allowed a steam to, it wasn't even steam, it took what could have been like that tight winding, and it gave me some space to be present for everything that I needed to be present for. It just, it buoyed me, it buoys me without requiring me to change anything else that I'm doing.
I love that. Yeah, last piece they said that it buoys you without requiring you to change anything else that
Mhm.
you're doing. That feels really nice, where it's like it's kind of just it's there and it's doing its thing, but it doesn't sound like it's very effortful on your part so far, at least. It's like,
No,
yeah.
and
And you even
I'm,
named that earlier. Like you're not trying to do it. It just feels like something there's something effortless about it, where it's like an organic noticing.
yeah, yeah, it feels energizing, it feels effortless,
Mm.
and it feels really sustainable.
Mm.
Like life feels sustainable. Play
Um,
is helping life be sustainable.
yeah. Oh, so good. So
You know,
good. Oh, I'm so glad. Hmm. Okay. So, yeah, just like last couple things. I don't want to keep you forever, but I'm curious. It seems like perhaps it was, but I'm curious if this like experience receiving a reading from the records felt supportive or helpful to you, and if it did, perhaps how so?
yeah. So one of the things, Mina, that um, I've reflected on is that it's easy for me to, if my life were a play that people were witnessing, right? I would be in one setting, and I'm just carrying this. I'm just relating to my life in a particular setting, right? And maybe it was a little dark and a little heavy, and the rain was happening there, right? And I felt like the reading, um, that that you knew that we were in a theater with many settings, right? And you're like, hey, turn this way. And you allowed me to see a different scene and a different setting. And so the reading amplified my understanding of my life.
Hmm.
There's that piece for sure, and but it's not only that piece. I think we can get myopic on things. And so the reading, the way that the reading happened, the way that you translate the readings, I feel like you're inviting me into a different scene, and then it becomes more of like, not even just, you help me to see the scene, this new scene. So you help me to realize playfulness has always been with me. You help me to realize that she's resilient. You help me to realize that, it's not if, it's happening. And I got out of the small box, and I got into a larger set. And now the sets are integrated, and so I feel very much like it was valuable to me. And there were so many things that, as you were reading and offering, um, I felt like I you just helped me to not harden in something, right? Like, um, again, going to the, hey, I you had this reminder for me about, just make sure that play isn't going to just be used to help you work harder. And I was like, oh yeah, like I could hear myself going there, because it's instinctive, because
Yeah.
one of the things that I grew up in my family was a really intense work ethic. So I could feel myself going there. And then even that reminder, like, play can just be valuable on its own. And you don't have to make it be an engine for something else. You can allow it to be its own life force. So I found it incredibly valuable. And I found, strangely, that the reading was so valuable that I can translate that reading into other parts of my life. So if I find myself thinking about something that feels compartmentalized, the way that the reading happened, there's there's a way that it can kind of mist itself in, and I can think about other areas with more spaciousness and less polarization and much more integration.
Wow. Wow, that's really fascinating that it feels like it can like touch or kind of yeah, mist onto other spaces and things in your life. That's really beautiful.
Hmm.
Wow,
Hmm. Yeah,
goodness. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was a real treat for me. This is like I always wonder how it lands for folks. I don't always get to know. So this was like, oh, such a treat to get to have a glimpse on, yeah, what that was like for you. Thank you so much.
you are very welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, oh, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to read for you. Welcome, welcome back. How was that for you? I hope you enjoyed just yeah, getting to kind of be a fly on the wall in that reading and almost this I wonder what this feels like to me. It almost feels like we get to be this like third party spectator in this really beautiful, rich, sacred space of a reading. And yeah, I'd love to know how that was for you. Did any how yeah, how did this land? And I know this again, it's kind of interesting because it's a one-on-one reading for someone else. But yeah, I'm curious to know if any parts of this resonated. Did you find it to be relatable? Could you relate to my friend and where they were at, or perhaps not? So yeah, if you want to share your inspirations around this, you're welcome to leave a comment on the video or to send me a message through Substack. And if you enjoyed this and you would love to receive or consider receiving your own one-on-one Akashic Record reading, you can learn more about that on my website, minaruchi.com, and the link to that is in the description below. So you can find that there if you're curious about receiving your own one-on-one reading and asking the records your own specific questions about your life and getting this very specific, personalized response from the records. So that's available to you if you're interested. And if you're looking to dive just a little bit deeper, if you liked this episode, you can subscribe to the podcast here, wherever you're listening, or on Substack. So, Substack is really the place to be. You'll get all the episodes, plus, you'll also get other Akashic transmissions that I share. So, I share weekly Akashic transmissions there, whether it's a reading or a collective reading. Uh, there's lots of Akashic goodness waiting for you there, hence the name Akashic Goodness. So you can join for free or subscribe for $5 a month. So that's there for you, and the link to that is also below. So yeah, that's all I've got for you for today. Thank you so, so much for being here, and I'm wishing you well until next time. Namaste.